here is like another really interesting thing, because like after this date, I was asking that guy like, should we like go to another date? And he said like maybe like nah, like we are not really much alike.
Did you ask him?
Yeah, but and also I pay him half of bill because I think
You paid what?
I pay him half of bill.
You paid half the bill?
That's cool. That's fine.
I mean, you don't
That's some gangsta
like
shit.
paying the
Ryan
bill?
likes that.
I like that shit.
No,
Pay for the whole meal, actually, too.
You
It's ju-
don't?
It's just like I felt like, okay, you want, because like we went to a date and he found that we are not really good to each other, like, so I pay him half of bill.
I mean, you should
On the
in
first
your
date, yeah.
instance because you're getting to know the person. I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, all guys shouldn't be paying the bill. It should be equal in some type of way. And it's going to be like that in a relationship if that's what you want further on. I
Yeah.
mean, word of advice, stay away from e-dating. It's not going to help you in any type of way.
I
Because
know.
even if you look at somebody face to face and you can't start a conversation, that's a problem with yourself. And I
Yeah.
don't think you should be dating. I think you should just be working on yourself.
Right.
Exactly.
And
you're
just
actually
look in the
correct.
mirror, practice, starting conversation or just making friends and just starting, or guy friends and starting conversation with them. And that's how you start, just by being yourself.
Yeah,
But eating is not going to get you anywhere.
I felt that. and
Just
then-
weirdos and creeps and 45-year-olds that say that they like you.
I'll agree with that advice, but did you invite him to go to the date or did he invite you?
Which one?
The one that you went on the date with, did he invite you or did you invite him?
He invited me.
Then he needs to pay because he's asking for your time. I know he's going to disagree, but I think especially
No.
when it comes to like, because you're from China, right? So there's a certain custom or a certain culture around dating, right? And so typically in those situations, or typically in more conservative cultures, there's a very structured
Closer to the mic, please.
there's a very structured gendered role as it comes to that. So I can see how you're not really used to that being the case. So to be completely honest with you, I'm not shocked if you're uncomfortable with having to pay half, considering where you're from and also what you're used to. But I do think that if someone is asking for your time, then they need to show that they value your time. So I mean, it's just my opinion. People can disagree or not, but I think that in total that should be the case, although you should expect later on in the relationship to maybe split those duties a little bit.
Well, you said that if somebody is asking for your time, then it should fall on them to pay for the bill. However,
Yes.
I mean that's convenient, but generally speaking, men are going to be the ones who are asking for said time
Yeah.
Okay, but
due to
females
social.
do too.
What's that?
Females do too. Like,
Of all the
females-
first dates that occur in, let's say, the past 10 years, if you had to assign a percentage, men initiating versus women initiating.
I'd give you 30-70.
Bro,
And for a real
30
answer, I'd give you
30% of
30-70,
women are
nowadays,
initiating dates.
I'd say
Nah.
30-70.
I'd say it's 99.
Nowadays.
I'd say
Nowadays.
99% of first dates it's the guy asking for the date.
Maybe
99%.
your
99
time,
now?
but
Yeah.
99%
Your
now.
time.
99% now.
I'm not really
like maybe 90s to 80s, like percentage wise.
Okay,
like
fine.
the
Let's say-
80-20.
Fine, let's say
80-20.
it's 90.
You know,
Let's say it's 90%.
I'm still better than 99.
I think it doesn't matter who asks. In my traditional opinion, if a man is gonna be a gentleman, he's gonna pay. If he's not gonna pay, then that's your sign. He's not gonna take care of you. He's a little boy. And in the future,
Disavow. Disavow.
when you guys are like together for longer, then yeah, spoil him, buy him whatever, buy the
Yeah,
dinner,
spoil
buy
him
the
back,
bill.
too, yeah.
But on the first date, that's your sign. Either he's a gentleman or he's not.
I mean,
Disavow.
But
But
at the
that's
end of
just
the
my,
day,
Disavow.
like, what if you think about it that deep, what if it's like some trans people, then
What
who's
the
gonna
fuck,
who's
bro?
gonna pay for it then? But in my traditional opinion, if it's
What's
a man
the-
and a woman, a man should pay for it.
Okay, well, trans people are like 1% of the population, so it's kind of irrelevant. But so what was your point after that, though?
If it's a date with the man and a woman, whoever
Yeah.
asks, the man should pay.
Why?
The first date, just
Well, you believe
show-
in, I assume you believe in traditional gender roles, right?
Yeah.
But how many women are not traditional? I'd say the majority of women
I
are not
mean,
traditional.
times are changing.
I'm speaking
like,
for
if you guys
myself.
don't change, then what is it? Like, what's the point?
I can only speak for myself. Like, if it's some lesbians, then I don't know. I can't speak for them.
Let's stick to heterosexual relationships.
The man should pay.
Okay.
Because I know
That is a good point, though.
I'm
Who pays the
single,
bill in that situation?
and I'm looking for somebody who can. I mean, I like to make my own money. I've always been very independent. I've been financially independent since I was like 14 years old, and I like to work. I like to do my own thing and provide for myself. But I know I'm looking for somebody who can lead me, and that involves like being financially stable and taking that first step.
Yeah, let me just clarify. If you, as a woman, you are a traditional woman, I don't object to women having let's say, an expectation or a desire for a man to pay on the first date. However, you must be, for you to have that standard, you ought to be a traditional woman. If you're not a traditional woman, you should not expect men to adhere to their traditional gender roles.
Yeah, that wouldn't make sense at all.
Like if you're all about feminism and gender equality,
I'm not.
I'm not saying you specifically, but just women in general. If you're all about feminism and gender equality and, progressive politics, whatever, then you cannot recoil at the very idea of gender roles, but then expect men to pay, because men paying is a gender role.
No, I think there should be different standards. I don't want to be treated like a guy. I don't want to be held to guys, standards. Just like I'm sure a guy wouldn't want to be treated like a girl, held to a girl. I think there's differences, and they should be treated like that.
I feel like I should add on to that, but anyways, it's kind of similar, but I'd say as a guy, and you're trying to get into a relationship, you're trying to have that person till marriage, till death do us part, yada, yada, yada. And I feel like as like a female or another partner you're waiting for, like you're trying to share responsibility, as in like taking care of a kid financially, and like you just want to be stable with that person. But on a first date, I don't feel like the guy should pay for everything. I mean, especially if I'm getting to know him, if I'm not feeling the date, yeah, I believe in like split pay. But if he's trying to show that he's trying to get into a relationship with me, if he's trying to move forward and like have that commitment with me, I believe that the guy should be paying,
Yeah.
and to show me that he cares.
And women and men, they look for different things. I know for me, I look for a man who can be like a provider, and I'm sure men look for a girl who can be loving and nurturing. So it's like men don't care about your status if you have like a great career. At least I don't think they do. So why would they care if I can pay the bill or not? That doesn't mean I can't, but why would they care on the first date?
Why would the what? Why would they care on the first date?
Yeah, why would a man want a woman to pay? I feel like if I was a man, I would feel so like demasculated if a woman was like, "Oh, let me pay the bill."
I don't think that's what men want, but I think what strikes me as something that's equal is you pay for your food, he pays for his.
Okay, but if he's hitting on you, then he should also be having that initiative and pay my bill. Like, why are you backing out? Like,
I would just
go
say
forward.
For the first date, maybe don't go to like some crazy restaurant that you're going to have this giant bill. And then when it comes to the end of the meal, we're kind of like, okay, like, do we split this? Do we not?
Yeah.
Maybe just get
Like
something
a mid-range
simple.
place
I would
or
never
Not
on a
even
first
mid-range.
date.
I mean, like
I
on
would
the
never
first
want to
date,
go
the
somewhere
first time that you're
expensive
meeting.
and bougie. Like dating is literally like getting to know somebody,
collecting
collecting
data.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like go on a walk or
Yeah,
get ice
that is
cream.
true. You can have a first date without spending money.
It doesn't have to be like this super luxurious thing. I think there was a bit of a misinterpretation on my point. I think it's contingent on who invited who. I'm not necessarily talking about specifically gender roles as far as my opinion goes, but I do know that a lot of people function with those roles, and in a lot of other cultures it's very commonly practiced. But I think that like to your point, if you have a traditional outlook, or if you expect traditional followship through that role, then I think that you also have to reciprocate it on the same level. I think that you do need to make sure that you guys are both on the same page as far as who's going to be doing what. But I definitely think that there is a little bit of room to kind of discuss what those terms are the more that you get to know
Here, we
people.
actually have a video about this. Eric